A royal first, as Buckingham Palace opens its East Wing to the public for the first time to walk in the footsteps of the royal family. Members of the public will be allowed to see what kings and queens have seen for generations and get up close and personal with the palace, with no ropes, no cordons, and no protective glass in their way. All signed off by the king himself, who received a tour to approve the experience visitors will receive. An expected 6,000 guests will visit the East Wing this summer as a trial opening for the wider 10-year conservation and refurbishment project, costing £369 million. Well, I'm joined now by royal biographer and former royal photographer, Ian Lloyd. Ian,
hello, Jacob.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be great, isn't it? The opportunity to go around and see where the king comes onto the balcony from. Really interesting insight to how Buckingham Palace works.
It's exciting. I went yesterday, there was a press preview, and the thing that struck me first of all is that if you're the king or the late queen and you're on the balcony, you can't see the Mall. I mean, we all see people coming down from the top, thousands of people crowding in towards Buckingham Palace. They can't see it because of this great monument to Queen Victoria called the Queen Victoria Memorial, or they call it the wedding cake, but it blocks the view. So apparently the king has a TV in there, and the late queen did as well. So what they do is they when they're waiting to come on, they're watching the TV to see how the crowd's getting nearer the palace. And the other thing that struck me is when we were on it looking down, is you can actually see individual faces in the crowd out there, because we looked out, so they do get a good view of what's happening directly underneath the palace,
So they can see individuals. So if there's a friendly face in the crowd, they can see that person and possibly even wave. But they can't see that enormous mass of people you get at the big events that goes back towards Admiralty Arch.
The other thing I learned is there's a great historical link, because the person that put the East Wing on the palace, because it was originally 3 sides, and Queen Victoria had, of course, 9 children, so they had to build a 4th side for all the nurseries and things. Edward Blord was the architect, but the master builder was Thomas Cubitt, and his great-great-great-granddaughter is Queen Camilla. So she's standing on the balcony that, great-great-granddad put up for her.
Oh, that's fascinating. So, and Cubitt built a lot of Belgravia, didn't he? And then I think he went bankrupt.
Yes, like, and Queen Victoria was very, very sad when he died. She liked him very, very much. But it was a dead loss in the Victorian times, because it was built out of caen stone, C-A-E-N, caen stone, and it was very absorbent, and the soot and the water got made a mess of it, so that they had to resurface it with Portland stone, which is what we've got now.
And that was done in the reign of Edward VII, is that right?
That started then, and then it finished in 1913 under George V with this great Portland stone edifice that we've got now. So that's the balcony we've got now. The thing that surprised me also with the balcony is quite low. I mean, it's only about 2 feet, or a little bit over 2 feet high. So, you think health and safety.
Health and safety doesn't apply to royal palaces, does it?
I was told by somebody that, we haven't lost one yet, so nobody's fallen over the top. So that's good news so far. But apparently little Prince George, a couple of years ago, when he was his first appearance, had the late Queen, put a box there so he could see and be seen, So for the kids, they have a little box sometimes.
And these 6,000 tickets, are they like the Willy Wonka magic ticket? Because surely hundreds of thousands of people are going to want to get them.
Well, they've gone. They went in 6 hours, and they cost £75 each. And I asked, and this is supposedly a trial, so presumably if it's a great success, then they'll do it again next year, because you also see the yellow drawing room where the late Queen sat for portraits to be painted, and the principal corridor, which, I mean, it's packed with stuff from Brighton Pavilion, because to pay for the East Wing, Queen Victoria sold Brighton Pavilion, which belonged to, George IV, her uncle.
George, indeed. Well, I didn't know that. Thank you so much for educating me on royal palaces, Ian. Very grateful you could join us.